Hello, this is the Paint-A-Lot, and today we're going to paint the purple dragon. So the base color is Violet Vamp. I'm using an airbrush, but you may use a large brush, is fine. I've actually magnetized the wings, which I've carved in a different video. So I've kept these on while I'm spraying the top part. Well, I need to remove the wings anyway. So the first highlight is Blueberry. I'm just spraying this onto the highest areas of the model where the light would be hitting it. Sorry for the blur. It looks quite bright now, but once it dries it actually tones down a bit, so don't worry about that. And you can reapply it later once it's dry, and just choose how intense you want the color to be. For the tail, I've airbrushed the part where it bends up. So you can see I've left the part in the middle where we have the bend. I've left this part the original color because later on I'll add some shading into that recess, so we can add some shadows and contrast. So the same for the wing. I'm just airbrushing the parts that would catch the light. So this would be the folds in the wings, on the what are they called again? I forgot the name of them. Not the membrane. The fingers. Yeah. So just highlight these, and the biceps and the shoulders and so on. For the final highlights, I used Orchid. I'm basically spraying it onto the highest areas again, but I'm focusing more into the middle of the highlight to achieve some type of gradient. And also, you can see from before, the blueberry has died down a lot. The intensity of the color has died down, right? Going back to the tail, you can see now I've sprayed into the center of the blueberry with Orchid, and I've kept the recess dark. And you can see it's slowly building up some type of depth to the tail. So now I'm focusing on the tail with Imperial Purple. It looks quite sharp at the moment, but again it will dry, and then when it dries it will tone down a bit. I'd say that the texture of this paint is kind of like contrast paint from Citadel miniatures. So I've based the wing already with an airbrush with Mediterranean blue, but you're welcome to just dry brush it, going up towards where my fingers are holding it, so you can catch the ridges. Now I'm airbrushing Temple Guard blue at an angle to catch the bumpy areas of the wing. Again, dry brush will work just as well. It may take a while longer, but you will be able to get this type of effect. So I've watered down the Druchii Violet with water, 50-50, should we say. You can go even more actually. Just to tie in everything together and to really bring out all the individual scales. I've done the same for the wing as well. I used the hairdryer to dry off the Druchii Violet, and now I'm just dry brushing over the wings with Temple Guard Blue. It's very light, but you can see on some parts of the wing, for example the tips, I press a little bit harder just so I can get the corners nice and sharp. So I'm a big fan of using Black Templars paint. It covers really well. It takes a bit of practice because if you have too much it might overlap or spread or so on. But with a dry, if you wash off the paint, then you can just wipe off the paint that's spilling over before it dries anyway. So yeah, I just painted everything that's like hair, thicker scales and so on, horns, with this paint. Okay, time for the underbelly. Demonette hide. It's quite a dark grey colour. I was going to say grey purple, but I do feel it complements very well with the purple scales. It's not too bright, but not too dark. I did this with the brush, and this model's pretty great. I do like the way it's been sculpted. It's very easy to see where the belly separates from the scales. So for some parts of the underbelly, it does blend slightly into the chest, into the ribs. So for this part I just airbrushed Demonette hide again and added a gradient. You're welcome to dry brush it, very gently though. Time for Slaanesh Grey. This is the final highlight. I spray this in the same way I did the top part of the tail. So you just pick out the areas that are bending, that would catch the sun or the light. I also put the model on its side so I can just hit the tips of it so I don't get any overbrush onto the purple area that I've sprayed before. Again, dry brush is fine for this part. Dry brush is your friend when you don't have an airbrush, or even if you have an airbrush. So this is the finished dragon. For the green armor and the gold, I have another video painting celestial Vindicators on my channel that teaches you how to paint this green and which golds I used. For the teeth I just used Wraithbone, Agrax Earthshade. For the eyes I painted them white. I used Corax white, but you can choose any colour you want. Maybe blue would be quite cool. Really sharp blue, give it an icy look. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be releasing a new tutorial soon for the what is it? I think it's a blue dragon. Should be a blue dragon because I've done a red dragon. Anyway, thank you very much. Take care.